Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and I'm going to be reading your tea leaves today. This is a horoscope for Leo. If Leo is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, this is a message for you. We're just going to go ahead and get started. I like to try to get it over here. 2, 3, and we'll see what we have. Okay, so we have a new setup, and it's actually really nice. So I thank my husband for helping me get my new tripod, my lighting, everything kind of set up so it looks better than it did before, and it's easier for me to use. Okay, so let's go ahead and just turn this. If you're new to the channel, thank you for checking out the video. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. Thank you for the support. If you would be so kind as to like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know how I'm doing. And let me know how you're doing. Let me know how these readings are resonating with you. Okay, so first I want to go to the middle here. Okay, so I see from this, now I just want to look at this for a second because it kind of looked like something else this way. Okay, so two different angles of the same formation. On this side, pointing this way, let me find my words here. It looks like a fish, okay? And it's pointing towards the left here, which, usually I would say it's the past or the present, something that has just transitioned and is just beginning to happen. Because of the placement so central in the cup, I think that possibly that doesn't really matter. I think this is an ongoing thing. I think this is very central to the person I'm reading for, which is you, Leo. And with the fish, obviously, one of the main associations that we might make is with Pisces. So I was just talking to my husband about Pisces last night, and he was emphasizing this feeling of being towards the highest, coldest, darkest. Well, it's technically not the darkest, but it's pretty dark because usually where we are, it's like overcast and snowing. So the the coldest, harshest part of winter, but it's like the most full and pregnant part of the year too, because it's the end. It is going to be the ending to a new beginning, right? So it's kind of the buildup, the accumulation of this cycle of the 12 zodiac, and then it will pass over into Aries, obviously. So I feel like this feeling, the other thing, obviously with the fish, it is a watery creature. I think that I always think of any of the fish or the shell, especially the shell, being very resistant. The crabs and lobsters and those kinds of crustacean water creatures. But the fish is also very resistant and travels far lengths to either spawn or just follow the currents of the water in the ocean or even in freshwater places. But really, for me, when I think of the fish as a symbol, this is a very psychic symbol. This is and very mysterious, because there's a lot of interconnected communication going on, a lot of instinctual habits going on, just very mysterious to us, right? We think of ourselves as higher on the totem pole as far as maybe being more evolved, which I'm sure to some degree that's true, but we're the or creatures and animals of the animal kingdom. It's they're very mysterious to us. We have no idea how they communicate, how they socialize, really, and just their ability to continue to further their population under the changing conditions of the world and so on. It's also interesting, but I just think that, especially with these and I'm thinking of a sea bound fish, some go from the sea into fresh water, and I don't know that many do vice versa, but I have in my head, I'm envisioning more of like a saltwater fish, but there's just this real, in the cold water, deep cold waters, it's just this really tied to the abyss, the primordial materials, and this very psychic, instinctual, very close to the border, the kind where the border of consciousness, where things are a little more blurred between the inner and the outer, right? And so this symbol, I think that you, Leo, are just by nature, this Leo who I'm reading for anyways, maybe not all Leos, but who I'm reading for, you have a very strong tie to kind of the other side. And I don't necessarily mean death or speaking, mediumship necessarily, but I think that would not be hard for you to come into if that was something that you decided to work on and hone your skills, although it might be something that you were born with as well. But I think that there's just this quality of deep intuitive abilities. I think that you listen to them. I think that also goes into this kind of Leo nature where you're very confident about those abilities. I don't think that you shy away from them. I don't know if you really let it be known, but I think that you really are a person that likes to listen to the signs and symbols. And I think that's probably why you're watching this video, is because you definitely have these abilities naturally. Well, and we all do to some extent, but you have a deep connection with them, and I think that you use them, definitely. Okay, so I want to I want to look at this. This is a goddess, one of the old goddess figures, mother goddess. There's kind of the rounded body, the arms, and the head. Okay, so I think that this is definitely telling me that you're very activated in this like divine feminine energy. That's not to say that you identify as a feminine person or a woman, or maybe you do to some degree. It doesn't matter. There's a spectrum. So but this is very alive in you, and that really just reinforces my belief that you're a very psychic person. I think that you have the qualities of somebody that's very nurturing, but also very, very discerning, and have the intuitive quality to know when things are not right. Okay. And I think that people probably come to you for advice quite often, um, and seek comfort, and you're probably also the person in your friend group or family that is kind of the mom friend, or the kind of, you have and again, as I was saying, you don't have to be a woman or somebody who identifies as feminine, but you have this like very nurturing and advice. You have good advice, and I think that you have very practical advice, and you have very deep spiritual advice as well. And probably, I even think there are a lot of healing qualities. I think that you just kind of maybe are very in touch with how your body is feeling, and you listen to it. So I think that it's easy for you to figure out how to kind of navigate ailments, and you can also give that advice to others. And I think that people they relate to that, or they relate that in you, and they seek you out for that kind of advice. Okay. And I think that um, that definitely that's definitely lucky for them to have somebody like you in their life. It's not easy to be a person that really, it's interesting because I think so many of us have trouble really listening to ourselves, how we're really feeling, figuring out why we feel the way we do. Why do we always have headaches, or do certain foods trigger things in us? And it can take years to kind of figure out that stuff. And I think that there are certain people that just kind of really are in touch with the way that their body feels, the messages that they're receiving from their bodies, and they're able to fine tune how they live and the things that they consume and that kind of stuff, so that they can get into balance. Okay. And like, having somebody like that in your life who can communicate those things to you is really helpful. And I don't know, maybe you're even like a nutritionist or some kind of healer. Okay, so I wanted to look at this one here. This one looks like a rooster. So that makes me think that there is almost a sense of, well, we talked about the Pisces, the kind of the ending, but the prelude to the beginning, right? So I feel like there is this little rooster that's getting ready to crow for you, and I think that really makes me think that there is something really close on the horizon for you. I think that there's like a new thing coming in, not just the new year. If you're watching this reading right now, it's right before Christmas of 2022. So we're right on the cusp of the new year. It's actually the night before the solstice eve. So a lot of new things, and not a lot of transitions happening right now. And so I think this makes sense that there's something new coming in. It might not be the new year. It might not be this like transition into winter, but I feel like it is some kind of, life change or shift in current, in energy in your life. Maybe you are going to reprioritize some things, and we'll see if we can kind of figure out what that would be. Now this cup, Well, it's not super chaotic. It kind of looks like it's pretty spread out. Here I'm seeing a rose. Okay, and this is where this is placed. This is on the rim of the cup. This is close to that spiritual space, that higher consciousness, metaphysical, our relationship with the divine. And I think that when I see a rose, it really makes me think of, it makes me think of the sub rosa, which is the hidden things. And I feel like the mysteries are very heavy in your life right now. I think that these are things that you're thinking about. I think that maybe that you're in a part of your life where you're transitioning into really kind of looking inside of yourself. You're beginning to awaken to some of these deeper thought they're almost like thought experiments, these allegories, analogies, riddles, that kind of thing. Be it alchemical, just things that you read within psychology or religious systems. Whatever it is, I think that you're at a place in your life where maybe the veil is thinning and beginning to be lifted for you, and you're interested in the more sacred information, the knowledge that is starting to flow. And I think that it's always been there, but maybe you're really kind of putting pieces together, and that's becoming really important to you. And that might be part of this rooster, right? This new beginning. And so I wonder, are you coming into a later part of adulthood where these kinds of things start to matter, right? We kind of we can go through some existential crises as we get a little older, and in that space of of little terrors, right? Flood in these kind of divine awakenings, these gifts from the universe that help us grow and evolve spiritually, give us the opportunity to do so. And I think that is something that seems like maybe something that really is starting to happen for you. Okay, and let's go ahead and look over here. Now this is an interesting little, it looks like a duck being fed by somebody. It almost looks like a mouse, but I think it's more of just a figure. And behind it, kind of a little bird following behind. And I think that this really, the energy that I get from it is tied into this little rose. I kind of get this picture in my head of a little, like a quaint little garden and farm, kind of a yard that's fenced in, and this lovely little scene of, a duck being fed. And I think really that's so much tied into this theme of this rose, because especially in alchemy, the metaphor of the garden being kind of a very spiritual space for us, where the macro and microcosm kind of meet together, right? So we tend to our gardens in real life. We have to plow them, clean the dirt of any kind of debris, get out the kind of the weeds that are sucking up the nutrients, and taking all the things that we need so for the plants that we want to grow, right? So there's all this tending, and then the planting and the watering, and hopefully flourishing. But within within that garden and within that yard, and little, chickens and maybe some goats and different animals, ducks in this case, they need to be cared for and fed as well. And that really just relates to these different archetypal parts of ourselves, of our spirit, of our soul, that represent the different processes within our life, within our psyche, and connect us to the higher divine. Okay, so I think right now it's really about you going into and out of yourself at the same time, finding external sources of inspiration, if that's reading, if that's art, if that's exercise, if that is, joining some kind of group that you can study with, or begin the initiation process or something like that. Joining a church or a congregation, just something that is really going to feed your spirit, feed your soul, feed your mind, all of those things. It needs to be balanced, and you can't, although there are systems where you can just kind of isolate yourself from everything and commune with the God source, or whatever, the your higher self. That's that hermit's path, that acidic path is difficult. And I romanticize it myself, but that's a few people go and succeed that road, right? So more likely and often, we all, many of us go these more social routes, right? So I think it's, it really, what this is saying to me is, go out and look for things that are really going to feed your soul right now. Things that are going to keep you inspired, keep you kind of on this wave, keep you in this vibe, the atmosphere going. And I think that will really help you come to find the mysteries that speak to you, find the mysteries that you can really immerse yourself in and spend time with, okay? Because, and this is the truth, not everything is for us. Sometimes we get into things that it's just so hard to stay focused on them. And the thing about our the way that we live now in our world is that there's so much media, there's so much information, there's so many sources of stimuli, that if we don't find things that speak to us individually, then we're never going to stay focused on them. You have to find the aesthetic that speaks to you. You have to find, the language that speaks to you, the things that excite you, the community, fellowship, whatever it is. And I think you're really on this journey to find that. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a wonderful thing. And, I think that, and this one's kind of knocking things around here. This one's interesting. I see a person on their knees in a devotional pose, and it looks like they're making an offering too. And I don't know what this is, but I think this is very much what it reminds me of is I saw a thing about how in Egypt, in these priests of, and I believe it was Hathor, the priests and priestesses of Hathor, they would, as a devotional and votive practice, would take these sticks of charcoal or some kind of pigment, and they would apply eyeliner around the eyes of the statues. And this was part of a devotional ritual. And, I don't know what it was about it for me, but I just thought that was such a beautiful thing. And in this posture, I really see this kind of very devotional, sacred person with their hand out towards this icon. Okay, and an icon can be a picture or a statue or some representation of a deity. And so for me, this just really ties this all together, that you are in this place of searching for you're in a place of searching for your place, right? For your thing that you are going to devote yourself to, at least for a while, okay? And I think that you really are looking for some kind of source of meaning, higher meaning, deeper meaning, something that makes sense to you, that speaks to you, and not just on a surface artificial level. I think this is something that you're really driven to find true meaning, true love, agape, something that you can truly marry yourself to, mind, heart, and soul. And I don't mean romantic love necessarily, but a love of the divine, okay, and a relationship with the divine. And I'm going to go ahead and look at this saucer here. And I'm seeing this cat. And it looks like it's kind of eyeing this little piece here that looks like a little mouse or something. So I think maybe you really are on the hunt. You are really in a seeking mode. And let me see, what else do we see here? And I think that I really get this feeling that you are also on a more physical note. I feel like you are feeling stagnant in your living space, and I feel like you have considered either moving or moving your furniture around. And I think that this is a wonderful time to change things for yourself in your living space. I think that this is a good time to set up your house as your temple. And if you have been feeling stagnant, it's wonderful to move things around, get the flow of energy through your house kind of changed a little bit. If you live in a warmer climate, maybe you can open your windows and get some new air in there, change the chi in your house. And I think something else that may be helpful is having some kind of water near your doors and windows, or they don't have to be at all of them, but having some kind of water. If you can have some kind of flowing water, that would be amazing, like a fountain or something. But if not, you can easily just put a bowl of water near your front door, near some of your main windows. I would put maybe a little jar of water in the window closest to where you sleep, and just allow for that to help you purify the energy in your house, and just get the energy flowing differently. Change the furniture. If you've been thinking about it, yeah, just move it around, get things feeling new, and really, I can't emphasize enough that your house, or at least one room in your house, like I have a toddler, so basically most of the house is hers, right? And we have a couple places for myself or my husband, but I can't emphasize enough how much you need a place that feels like your own. And even if that's just like a little table altar or one little corner of a room or something, make that feel like your temple. Make that feel like your grounding spot. You know, if you can put a chair near there or have a mat to sit on or something, that's also a really good idea. If you do some kind of meditation or posture work, anything like that, you know, that would be a wonderful place to do that. If not, that's okay. You can just have a place to put like your favorite little trinkets and stuff, and that might feel just as good. I definitely indulge in that myself. I have all kinds of little tchotchkes around here. So, okay, that's our reading today, Leo, and I just my daughter's over here looking at me. I just wanted to thank you so much. I'm always so honored to bring these messages to you. I did not talk about this card. This is the Magician card or the Magus card in the Thoth deck. And I just wanted to point out one aspect of this, and it really really ties into this cup, and that is this is an archetype that really can make something out of nothing. And I really think that this is you, Leo. I think that you're just such a magical person, a psychic person, intuitive person. And I think, I didn't say it earlier, but I really think that you are a person that can just really create from basically nothing. You have the ability to pull out all of those ingredients and variables and pieces and you know, all of that stuff that you need to create in the material world. And I really, you know, that's what this card represents to me in this context, and I think that that is so true. It makes sense with the cup, and I think this is why it's a really good time to be reading books, listening to music, looking at art, you know, seeking out communities that are going to inspire you, because I really think that you have a lot of ability to be creating. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you'd like to follow me on Facebook, I'm so sorry. My daughter is really trying to get my attention. My name on Facebook for my page is Ula Tea Leaf Readings. You can find me on Instagram, Ula of the Tea. Let's see, what else? I didn't say again. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know how these readings are finding you. Are they resonating with you? The other thing, I'm so sorry. I can't, all mixed up here. If you are interested in a private reading, I have all of the information in my description. You can go ahead and email me and book that. Other than that, thank you so much. I'm so sorry for the noise. I'm pretty embarrassed about it. But yes, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you watching. And please come back again. Thank you, Leo.